Hello to all our tribesters and our extended tribe. I am so excited to welcome back to this episode, this series, Louisa Chapman-Andrews, founder of Cook Folk. She is also one of your fellow tribe members and a very dear friend. So Louisa has been with us once before, and hopefully this is sort of the beginning of a longer partnership together. But Louisa has this passion for helping people discover their love of food. And if not their love of food, at least give them more confidence to be in the kitchen and cook something that is tasty and nutritious with ease and make it effortless. Today, we are talking all about summer strategies. We're getting into those warmer months, and we thought it was the perfect time to talk strategies. How can we shift what we're eating now to be more in line with the summer season, and what are the approaches that we can take? I'm sure this is going to be a fun conversation because I always love chatting with Louisa, but I also really love her approach. It is all about making things super practical and very easy to follow. She's got some really simple but tasty recipes to share with us today. And so I'm going to just roll right into Louisa and my conversation. Louisa, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome again.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I absolutely love these sessions, and I'm delighted to be chatting to you today.
So you recently moved houses. Obviously, we moved about a year ago, but you moved houses. How was that?
Yeah, we did a wholesale lifting of our lives from London, which was, well, it's been great. I mean, we're still sort of part building site, but we've got a very lovely, very lucky, we've got a very lovely house with a great garden, wonderful space for me for the future to be doing things with Cook Folk. But for now, just an incredible kitchen garden that we're populating again, and yeah, just really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. I mean, you know, it is tough to move. It's tough, but
it's very tough to move. I mean, you moved from the city to the country. I moved countries. Yeah. And actually, I loved cooking in our kitchen in London because we had it redone and it was set up in a way that made it really easy for me to get around. And I found that in this new house that we're renting here in Portugal, that actually I'm really not enjoying cooking, and I'm convinced it's because of the layout of the kitchen. I'd love to know how you set up your kitchen, how you make it functional.
I really agree. I think that if your space is not kind of helping you to create, you kind of shy away from it. And I think that a lot of effort should be made and a lot of thought should go into how you arrange things, whether you're renting or whether you're buying and you're lucky enough to redo your kitchen again. I do think it needs a lot of thought. The interesting thing was that we have sort of replicated our kitchen in London as far as one possibly can in an ancient beamed, 17th century space. But we've taken the practicality and the functionality of our London kitchen and brought it here. And that, it took us a while to realize that's what we needed to do. But I mean, I'd be really interested to know a little bit more about how your kitchen's working or not working for you, because maybe I can give you some pointers. Tell me.
Yeah, so basically the kitchen is very dark with a low ceiling. So I like natural light. So I think the first thing is it just feels the space feels constricted. And then there's this big peninsula, so not an island. I can't get around it. And there's one set of drawers, just one drawer unit on that backside next to sort of an eating area, but we don't have stools there. And then there's a few cabinets on that side. So I feel like my storage space is split in two around this peninsula, and I'm constantly walking around.
Yeah. I mean, that is tough because obviously you're having to work with what you've got, and a peninsula does make you do that. You can't kind of go all the way around and get to where you need to. And I mean, an island can be quite frustrating from that point of view as well. And, I think that one of the things that's really, really good to think about is zoning your kitchen in terms of the things that you do most frequently. So for us, or for me, it's bread making. So I have all my equipment and all the things I need for bread making in one place. So you put it out, you do the things you need to do, you put it away again, it's done, it's simple, it's easy, there's no mess, because that's obviously a lot of faff, we have to sort of go hunting for things. But the other one that we have is a breakfast drawer And everything in that drawer is what you might eat for breakfast. And you might not necessarily think they were the right things to go together in a drawer, but it works for us. And don't worry about what anybody else thinks. It's your space, it needs to work for you. So within that drawer, there's everything that you would need for breakfast, from the cereals to the things that go on your toast. But then there's also an everyday sort of tray, like a basket. So all the things that we use every single day without fail, like the jars and what have you, we lift out straight out of that drawer and straight onto the table. And obviously then it's straight back in again. And that makes life so much easier. I've also arranged the kitchen so that for breakfast time, when I do feel like, you know, we're all sort of a bit, you know, waking up, can't quite get it together, don't really know what's going on. You just need to go to get your coffee on, you know, have the radio, whatever it is that gets you through the morning. But also having everything you need for, you know, the crockery, the cutlery, the everything, you know, maybe you're unstacking the dishwasher in the same place. That really helps as well, because you need to just have a quick solutions, everything that you need, all the cups, all the bowls, the plates. If that means that then your bowls and your plates are split, that's no problem.
That's an amazing idea, because I think that's one of my problems, that actually I think all the plates and bowls and cutlery, crockery all have to be in one spot. Right. But actually my children then can't get to it. So I'm constantly going to get it for them rather than them being able to get it for themselves. I am going to try that breakfast basket area with the bowls there. That's going to be my first change.
Yeah. The other thing is, and I talk about this a lot, but is, you know, organizing your fridge. So you know where things are, and you can zone your fridge again and again, use trays, use oven dishes, use baskets, whatever it is. It's just another storage place. Doesn't mean everything has to be shoved in there and, you know, ram the door shut. You know, zone it a little bit so that you again can pull out the things that you need for breakfast, for lunch, for whatever it is that you do. You know, maybe you make smoothies, maybe you make soup a lot, whatever it is, get it together.
Yeah, so you zone it not necessarily by type of food, but almost by meal or by...
It depends. So maybe a bit of both. It just depends on, you know, if you just happen to be a bread maker, for example, you know, as I mentioned, you know, you want all your stuff together, that will encourage you to make it. Or if you are a smoothie maker, if you are whatever it is, you know, you just have to have a little think about what you do every single day that would make life easier, and put it together, basically. And I mean, I just buy trays and baskets constantly, and my husband thinks I'm mad, but it's life-changing. It just those little tweaks, and just think about where you're doing things, you know, and why. And maybe get some stools for this area that you say that you ought to be able to sit at, but you can't sit at. Maybe just get a couple of little stools, you know.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So one of the things I do prepare a lot, I'm not going to say cook because there's no cooking involved, but one of the things I do prepare a lot is Bircher muesli. And that's one of the things you're going to share with us today. So I know you're going to introduce it and make me think mine's quite boring and traditional. So let's talk about your Bircher muesli.
Well, my Bircher is based on my paternal granny's Bircher, and I'm sure that there's nothing groundbreaking here, guys. I'm not going to try and pretend that. However, I do think it's worth saying that you know, there's lots of different ways to make a Bircher, and lots of them contain fruit juice. And you know, I love fruit juice, but I try not to have too much of it because I think it's always better to have the whole fruit or the whole vegetable. So I make it with plant milk, but I grate fresh apple into it. So I get some sweetness and acidity from that apple, but I'm having a lighter thing that's not so, I suppose, not so sugary, if I'm perfectly honest. You want the fiber to go along with the natural sugars in order to, you know, for your body to really appreciate and process it. So my Bircher is, as I say, it's very simple. The only things I would say that may be slightly different, I don't know if you can really see in this bowl here, but I try and use a mixture of flakes. You can sit better on here. Try and use a mixture of flakes. So again, you're mixing up your protein and fiber sources by making sure you've got a real mixture of flakes. So I use oats, I use rye, I use barley when I can, and then a real mixture of nuts and a mixture of seeds. And I think that that's just giving you and your body the sort of widest possible range of nutrients. I tend to use a light milk like brown rice milk, which I think is really nice, very neutral. But obviously you can use a nut milk if you like. And then the kind of little twists that I like to put in are textural. So I tend to put in a few little coconut flakes, a few, these are actually chopped dried blueberries, which are really delicious, and they're just a slightly different flavor to raisins and what have you. Then these
are they a little bit tart?
Tiny bit. They're pretty sweet.
Okay.
Obviously everything that has been dried is going to be sweeter. These are some amazing sort of chewy banana strips. They're sort of semi-dried. They're not a chip. They are like a soft, sort of semi-soft thing, which are delicious. That adds an amazing texture, and you can put it in into the mix, and then you get these lovely chewy little bits. And then I've gone a bit monochrome today. Obviously, you can add as much color as you like, but for some reason I've gone a little bit monochrome with some black grapes and things. And then you've just got something that feels, I don't know, it's a textural thing apart from anything else. I'm just going to dress it for you now.
And do you mix that all in?
I do mix
some. Or
some.
do you add it on top?
I'm fresh. So I haven't got grapes in the mix. I've got everything else. But then you've got something that looks really pretty. And every single day you can mix it up, and you can have different fruit and more nuts, more seeds, toasted ones if you want to. Use any of your, nut crumb, the sort of health-giving powders, the macas, all the rest of it. So that's how I do it. And the brilliant thing about a bircher is that you're making something that will sit in your fridge for several days, make a load of it, and you've got it there every single day. You don't have to worry about breakfast, and you know that you are. Oh, the other thing I've got in here is cinnamon and fresh ginger, and both those things, alongside the flakes, alongside the fibre from all the different flakes, and also the nuts and the seeds, are all blood sugar lowering, and that will help you to feel fuller for longer. And it's a win-win. It's an absolute win-win. So for me, it's all about the whole grain, the whole fruit, the whole nut, and that for me then I know that I'm getting something that's genuinely nutritional.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this little snippet of my conversation with Louisa at Cookfolk. If you want to hear the full episode, we have it on Tribe membership. So Tribe is our monthly membership across Mind, Body, Planet, where you can access pre-recorded content for yoga, meditation, mindfulness, as well as our Conscious Leaders series and all of our conscious experts. Louisa is one of them, but we have some amazing experts that we work with and have monthly conversations on specific topics of well-being. So if you liked what you heard today, test out Tribe. Come join us and be part of our tribe. And it's a growing group of people like you that are interested in well-being, believe and know that you need to give yourself a bit more self-care, but maybe need a little bit of extra support towards your holistic well-being goals. We have a lot of working mothers. We've got a lot of entrepreneurs. We've got a lot of just busy individuals, career-minded individuals that are wanting to focus on their well-being because they know it's good for them, but they also know it's good for the people that they work with, that they live with, that they serve. So Tribe, come join us on Tribe, and you can access all of our content and the community. Until next time, be here and be well.